they make, but
So these are the makers. You guys are the consumers, and
Yeah.
then these guys are like the kind of consumers.
yeah.
Okay. Interesting. We were gonna do like another kind of general life stuff, but do you have any like more TV questions or things you wanted to throw out there?
I had a question. You guys talked about what you watch on a TV and what you watch on your phone. Do you guys watch anything on your iPads?
I watch like CBS shows on my iPad because there's no other way to watch. Because I don't watch like my day. I don't put my cable box on unless for Game of Thrones or like one of my shows. I'm on my Xbox using Netflix, Hulu Plus, HBO Go, and whatever like streaming things. So and the only one I use for my iPad is CBS because that's the only one that like they don't put it on Hulu Plus. They don't put it on Netflix. So that's usually the only place.
I've had to like big phones and useless computers. They're kind of in the middle. And if you're at home already, you have a laptop and an iPad, you're not gonna run to the iPad. You're gonna run to the laptop. There's a lot more ability to cruise and search. Yeah, I didn't press this right button. You know what I mean?
Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I don't have an iPad.
Well, I use my
I
phone
have
like
my
that.
laptop
Right.
or it's the TV.
Yeah.
If you guys have any additional questions for this game that we're playing, pass them through.
I just had a question about finding new shows. So not shows like Arrested Development, that's a little older, but like brand new shows that are out. How do you discover them, and then what makes you want to watch them?
I'll like go on Hulu Plus because that's usually I scroll through everything. I have no life. Let's put it that way. And I just like scroll through Hulu Plus like looking for a show to find, and usually like I'll look at like what it's connected to. Or like what network it on. Like honestly, like that's what it depends on. Cause like certain networks make better shows, but some like it depends on the day. Like I don't watch a lot of like ABC shows, but I watch more like NBC shows. So I don't know. It's just me though.
I think also like what it's about. Like when I heard Walking Dead, like when I first heard about it, when I was first coming out, like nobody else talked about it. And I was like, oh, it's a TV show about zombies. And I was really into that. And then my friends were like, I thought that was a movie. No, it's like a TV show about zombies. And I started, just like the word, since it had Walking Dead, and I guess I pulled an interest into it because of like it had something to do with zombies, and I think a lot of that has to do with it. Like, if you're gonna if the show title is very vague, and you don't really know what it's about, it's a lot. You're not gonna get into it, and you'll hear about it, but you'll just disregard it. But if it has something like I feel like the title or something.
Like pop, right?
It has to have something that like is really central about it that people are gonna like about it, so they're interested. Otherwise, like it's really hard. Like Bates Motel, like I started watching that, and it is really good. But like, and it has a good backstory on what it's about, like the kid's life from Psycho or whatever. But like, you wouldn't know that, and I had no idea. I was like, what is it? Horror thing? Is it about like a kid in a hotel? Like, there's so many things that I wasn't sure. I had no idea. But then I heard about it. I was like, wow, that's awesome. They should have like put a lot more like time into like advertising. But I think it's like trying to make it mysterious, but it didn't work that way because like nobody knew what it was going to be about. So I think a lot of it comes into how you advertise it, and like if it's advertised well enough, I think it captures a lot more people's attention.
Advertising.
I think if you hear everyone talking about it too, if everyone's talking about it, like I wasn't in, I didn't get into House of Cards until like the first 2 seasons had been released already, and I had heard everybody was like, this is a crazy show, you need to get into this, and it was more from people who were like, were on my like not, I don't want to say intelligence level, but we're on like my same interest level, and it was across the board. I had friends who were 15 and I had friends who were 45 who were both like, this is a great show.
Do you ever feel overwhelmed with all the stuff you feel like you have to catch up with?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh my god.
What's on your the chain on your back, or what's that phrase? Something on your back? Monkey on your back, chain, the chains you have to bear of like, gosh, I've got to like get through this. I don't know.
I have to like
I'm
start.
really bad with idioms.
I know I have to start like Doctor Who. I know I have to start Game of Thrones. I've been trying like Viking.
You'll never get done.
Do you feel, when you say you have to do it, like, do you feel excited about starting Doctor Who, or are you also like,
I feel excited.
Some of it's like, but then sometimes you're like, once you get into it, then you're like,
Yeah, I know. Love it.
Why? So is that's the reason, or is there any
It's 'cause,
pressure? Like you just feel like
I feel like you're missing out on something. Like
Yeah.
everyone's talking about Game of Thrones, I don't watch it, and everyone's
Exactly.
telling me to get into it. I'm
You
really
need to
nervous
start it.
because there's so much that I haven't seen,
Mhm.
and I will
It
have
took
to
me a week.
binge for
It
like
took me a
for
week.
like
Come on.
a week or two, especially with work.
So
And
much
I
time.
want to I feel like I'm missing out on this great gem, and everyone else knows the secret, and I don't know. I'm not in the in crowd.
That's why
So I feel like I'm compelled. Like it's not even like, oh, I'm really excited to see this show. I'm like, like really excited to like know what everyone else is like talking about.
So that's really interesting, like you're not even super excited to see a show, you just are excited to
I
like.
just want to know what everyone's
Is
talking
there
about.
any other shows that are like that, you're like, I just have to, like Doctor Who, I don't know.
That's
So-
for me with Breaking Bad. Like I stopped
Yeah.
watching it a long time ago, but like I still haven't finished
Wrong
it.
with how, like, I mean,
I didn't like it
It
when
was
I
a good
started.
show.
pressure
Like
there.
it was. I liked it at first, like, but I just lost interest because
Yeah.
most of it was just I want to know what's going on because like everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
Like, all these people are talking about it, and I was like, I should see what this is about.
I did the
So-
same thing with Walking Dead and Breaking Bad, and I couldn't get into either of them. I like forced myself to watch like 4 episodes of both. And I was like, this is, and from what I've heard, they get better after the first season. I'm like, what's the point then? I don't feel like with other things, if they like draw me in like sooner than rather than later, those shows that take a lot to build up are like really annoying. But the ones that are like, you watch the first episode and you're like, oh my god.
Were your parents into those shows? Breaking Bad, for instance?
oh,
Yeah.
No,
No?
I mean, my
I
family
watched
knows, yeah.
Breaking Bad every time it was on with my dad, so I was like his favorite show, and True Detective too.
no, I watch True Blood for my mom. That's our show.
I watched Game of Thrones with like Lewis and then my parents.
I think those shows that like the over 40 crowd can appreciate as well are like the ones that are really big right now. Like all these shows aren't like marketed
Yeah,
for like
no one
teenagers.
watches
Like nobody's like nobody. I don't think anyone's like, oh, let's market American Horror Story. It's like 16 and 17-year-olds, but like people who are like 40 and 50 love it. Like my aunt who's 53 was the one that showed me the first season, and then I ended up loving it. And I have friends who are like the same age as me who like it. And it's very cross like time generation.
Yeah.
Like it really like pushes those boundaries where everyone can like it.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
Is there something just for you guys? Like, is there something just for ending high school, going into college that younger kids wouldn't appreciate and older
I don't
people
think so
wouldn't
right
get?
now.
Jemay,
It's a good question.
Jemay private school crowd.
Jemay. So I'm the only one ruining
Sorry, Jack.
I think it's hysterical.
what about I don't know, what was the football show?
Oh, Blue Mountain
Blue Mountain
State.
State.
Blue Mountain State, but that's over.
Yeah.
But I can only see kids watching it, but
I don't know. I can't really
That's
think of
me with
anything.
like Jemay. We tried showing it to kids in Cosgrave, and they were like, our teachers, and they were just like, I don't understand, and me and like 2 other girls were like dying of laughter.
Are there any like shows you watch online, like, I don't know, or like a YouTube channel that you're like watching all of the
I used to do that
video
started-
back in
game high
like-
school or?
I
don't know.
I watched that. Like I thought it was pretty funny, but
Most, like,
yeah,
small-
the only reason I saw it was because Netflix, because it went on Netflix, and I was like, what? This is an internet show?
Oh, wow.
All the funniest
So,
games
that's
are
how
on my life.
Those like comedy shows are like those people who do the commentary, like Game of Thrones, SXE Phil, Shane
Yeah.
Dawson, who does like the parodies and
College
stuff.
humor. College humor is funny.
It's
College
funny.
humor, funny or die.
Do you have another question too?
Yeah. Oh, I had one more question.
Yeah.
You mentioned that the network matters. How do you define, just
So, like-
when a network is good and when it's
Well,
not?
a lot of shows, like more shows, like Fox shows, push more boundaries. I've noticed. Like that's the thing. Like I like that. Like if you're like gritty or like you're making a joke that no one else is gonna make, I'm gonna laugh harder at that. So like that's how I know. Like Fox shows are funny because like they have like all those American Dad. Like yeah, they're type appropriate and that's
HBO.
yeah like.
Or but ones that are on like ABC Family, like
No one
Pretty-
I
Pretty Little Liars. I read the books, and the TV adaptation sucks because they take so much away from the plot because they have to make it appropriate for ABC Family. So you're watching it, and it's like really in reality she got drunk and like drove off a cliff, but on ABC Family she's like crying in her room listening to sad music. Like it's just like nobody really does these things. Like no one's actually that nice and
Yeah.
bubble protected.
Twitter, One Pretty Little Liars is on this.
I'm actually pretty surprised how much you know which shows are on what networks.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think like AMC, like when I started, 'cause, like Walking
AMC
Dead,
is.
like Walking Dead got on that, and
It's
you had
so
American
many good
Horror Story,
shows.
then you had Bates Motel, and I feel
Ooh,
like
and then you
American
had
Horror's on
Mad Men
FX.
at the same
Yeah,
time.
and, like,
American
all-
Horror.
and
You just
know.
know what networks
Like,
push
you know,
boundaries.
would you all know which channel like One Broke Girl is on that you referenced?
Yeah, that's
CBS.
CBS.
Okay.
We know what networks do what thing. They typically have like a flair to their shows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like they have.
You know that
type.
there's going to be like a typecast for that network because they're into pushing these boundaries and not other boundaries.
Yeah.
And will you try a new show on that network?
Yeah,
Because of
like-
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched.
If something's new on USA or FX, I will watch it. 'Cause
Like I watched
Yeah.
new CBS shows. Like I watched that new show like Moms or like.
Oh, you don't like that show.
Yeah, I don't like it either, but I still tried it. I liked Two Broke Girls and How I Met Your Mother. So I started watching Mike and Molly. Like it's
Yeah,
there, so you're gonna
totally.
watch it. So
You mean it was
Especially
just
in-
after what you
yeah, and then like
Yeah.
I heard like the actors in it, and I was like, oh, that looks funny. So
They do the back to back. If they know that there's a cult following with one show, they'll do the premiere back after the cult following, and like you end up staying there, and they're like,
Yeah.
stay tuned for this first premiere of this new show. Like
So
my
you're like,
mom,
oh,
and you're like,
I guess
you're like,
I'll
all right,
watch
my
it."
night isn't over, and tonight's young, and then you watch and you're like, I really like this
Like
show.
Fox is really good with that too.
Yeah, they
The,
get you in like
Tuesday
that.
block.
They get you in the
like-
door.
Yeah.
So we want to play a game. I'm going to give you each 2 of these. We may not actually. Yeah, someone's gonna write one more. So I want you to pick one of those, and you have to ask it to Chris, and Chris has to answer it. Unless you really are uncomfortable, I have no idea how to answer it. None of these should make me uncomfortable.
Alright, this is a good repeat. If you could have a perfect lazy day, what would you do?
Perfect lazy day. Probably. If I had a lazy day. I mean, like, I feel like a lazy day is sleeping, but I mean, I guess like a lot of like a lazy day for me would be like staying in bed, not leaving bed, eating food in bed, and watching either like I go watch a lot of I guess like if I have a fandom I would watch, I'd probably be binge watching it. I think that's a big thing. On a lazy day, I would binge watch.
Lazy day.
Binge
Binge
watching.
watching is a lazy
Binge
day.
watching is when you're homesick,
I think
or
that's
when
the
you don't
best
feel like
answer.
going to school because you know like your teacher's gonna be a pain in the ass.
And you know you have a test or something, and you're just
Like I'm
like,
not
I'm
dealing with my first period
studying.
teacher. I'm gonna stay home and binge.
Yeah, for TV, at least TV wise, like if you're like, which most of the time it's like you binge watch a TV show because you have the time. Then you're like your lazy day, you're doing nothing. It's the perfect time to watch it.
Are there any other lazy day things you do aside from watch TV?
No.
Well, then movies.
Stay in bed.
Yeah, I think
Less
video games, like, but-
Roku is a
Order
godsend.
some less
It's right there.
Okay, Chris, your turn.
Alright.
Interview Maria.
Okay. What app is your guiltiest pleasure?
On Twitter, it's between Twitter and Tumblr.
No, it's Tumblr. It's Tumblr. It's Tumblr.
It's Tumblr. I like obsessively rewatch everything.
It's Tumblr. Tumblr.
You notice that about Maria? Do you follow Maria's Tumblr?
Yeah.
I think we all do though. I think it's
Yeah,
a
going,
universal
just like a page
thing.
of, like her year stuff.
Tumblr is
I'm
where
sorry.
where like things that cannot be said or done on any other social network, the crazy comes out on Tumblr.
Yeah.
Like that's where the dark side of everybody like leaks out. Like
It's like a
you
cult.
could know the sweetest person and you go on their Tumblr, it's like, yo, it's wrong.
I would love if later you could send us a Tumblr of someone that you're like, this is the sweetest person, and like I'm so shocked about
And they're-
their
and they're
Tumblr. If there's any like
crazy.
interesting Tumblrs like that are like
Quiet girls, and then they have these like super, fourth wave feminism, like ultra, like leftist, like crazy stuff going on. And you're like,
Or you see those people Tumblrs who like, there's like the most innocent little girl, and it's also just like sex.
all porn,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Wow, I did not expect that from you.
do you guys create Tumblr posts, or you really
we were just reblogging. I don't think anybody creates
Well, I have
anything.
two
Someone
blogs.
has to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Someone
but
has
I
to,
have-
that's the hardcore.
You don't know those kind of people. They're just hardcore.
I have two. I have like a fashion Tumblr where like I actually make stuff for, and then I have like the other one.
Oh,
Where
you
I
do
just
make
reblog
stuff
everything.
on your fashion Tumblr.
Yeah,
Like
That's
what?
for personal like fashion stuff though.
yeah. I make like polyvore stuff. A lot of that.
Like outfit sets and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, ask a question to Vanessa.
What do you do in your spare time that you don't like to publicize?
All right, if you really want to know. What do I do in my spare time that I don't want to publish? Who asked this question? Rascal. What do I do in my spare time that I don't want to publish? I can't think of a PC answer. I'm trying really hard,
I mean,
guys.
if you really can't think of something, you can divert the question to one of these guys.
What I mean, my spare time
I
is
just
like
made up this rule.
my spare time is like diverted is taken up by work so much, I guess.
Okay.
Realistically, I work every day until like 10 or 11. And I guess that like I don't want to publicize, sometimes I don't want to publicize the binge watching to certain social groups because like on Facebook, I have a lot of like family members who like went to Vassar and like MIT and Harvard, and they're like, oh my God, just had like big meeting about climate change, and I'm like, just watch Clueless for the 4th time. I don't want you to know that. I suck. Okay.
Are there any other like embarrassing shows that you're like, oh, I really wouldn't want to tell the world about that one?
Sometimes like
I
when
watch
I'm
those,
really
like,
like low, I'll watch like some anime because I had a dark period in my life. That was my only friend.
My Little
so.
Pony was a big
My-
thing for boys.
Are you bronies?
I can't say I haven't watched.
We were at a point.
For like 2 months, and then it
We
was
were at
Everyone
like
loves
a
to
little
eat
while.
I read a stat that 50% of millennials have a brony friend. I ran that stat the other day.
Yeah, no, it's a thing.
It's big.
And like people love to hate
We
bronies.
watched a couple episodes, but we
In a
have
row.
a, we
Does
have
that
a,
make you a brony then?
not really. Like,
Not
I guess you
really.
have to own a couple merchandise
T-shirts?
things.
You didn't have any t-shirts?
No, we have a friend
they,
though
talk
that
about
does.
it. It was so funny.
Do people, maybe not you specifically, I'm not asking you to talk about drug use, but do people get high when they watch brony shows, or is it like?
I think
all
it's
stars?
so people
No, the one
so.
person I knew that's a brony was Jeremy Purcell, and
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he ever did like any drugs or nothing.
Ever.
So there's
more, the
nothing-
more
I think the
drug,
brony was his drug.
the more like shows that you watch like with drugs, there's like that Adventure Time and those like really dumb
Yeah.
Cartoon Network shows. Those are shows
Yeah,
that
I
like,
know. Yeah,
I
Adventure
don't-
Time. You have to be high to like,
Yeah, like,
to,
those
like,
are the-
follow
the
that.
kids
You
shows
watch
that
them
are like
sober
really
and you're like
weird.
Princess Bubble. What?
Like, what is going on here? Why is that unicorn also a rainbow?
Yeah, you're like.
Okay, so Vanessa asked Jose a question.
All right, I like this one.
Oh, God.
If you were stranded on a deserted island and could bring one celebrity, one TV series to watch, and one TV episode, what would they be?
So let's see, celebrity.
Jason
Jason
Segel.
Segel.
God, you Jason Segel for Halloween for you guys.
No, it was I was
It was Celebrity Day.
It was Celebrity in high school, and I was
I have
Jason
a picture
Segel
of
from the movie I Love You Man.
I think we'd like to see it.
You were Uggs.
I'm okay with it.
Jose,
This
One TV series and one
TV
episode.
series.
Scroll through like 3 embarrassing pictures.
Probably. What can I watch over and over
Jose is
again?
Jason Segel.
That's really good. I love it. That's good. We won't look at any other photos.
Oh, the Muppet.
No, I didn't bring them up
No,
for
you
that.
bring them up. You have them up.
I have them up, I guess I do.
The fact you wore Uggs though really.
Wait,
was
so what
good.
series did you just say?
I was trying to think of one. Probably Arrested Development, because I could watch that like
Over and over again.
Over and over again.
And what actual episode? You're like,
The one where the one where he keeps on roofing people. Yeah, like he keeps on roofing.
But that's from Arrested Development, so I wouldn't use the same.
oh, okay, yeah, because you'd already have that.
Yeah, so
Fun wedding.
yeah, probably that. The
Really?
episode of Game of
The
Thrones.
rest of
where
your life, you just want to watch that.
that one episode. Because it's such a good episode.
Red wedding or the purple wedding?
The Joffrey's wedding.
Purple
The
wedding.
purple wedding, yeah.
Okay, is there anyone who had a question there and you just want to call it out or put it on somebody that
Well, I
you're
already
like, "This is
answered this
kinda
one.
interesting."
It's like, what is the nerdiest interest that you have? And that's like, I have my
Or
little
is there
anime stuff.
something that you want to challenge one of your friends with?
Yeah, I'll go with Maria. Describe your ideal Friday night based on your life now. Usually no private jets. What do you say? I guess.
No
I
private jet.
don't know, probably going to a concert or something.
Yeah.
What do you guys like you're going out versus staying in schedule? Is there kind of like schedule's a weird word, but like you're like every Thursday I do this, every Friday I stay in, every Saturday.
No, it's just what happens, like what's going on that
It's
night.
very spontaneous.
We live right
Yeah.
outside the city, so
So-
the city offers a lot for us. We actually utilize it. A lot of people are like who go to our school don't. Like a lot of people who go to our school like haven't been in the city in like years.
Yeah.
And they live like right outside the tunnel. I'm like, what is
If I know
wrong
if I
with you?
want to go to a concert and there's one in New Jersey and one in New York, I'm gonna go to the one in New York.
Because it's easier to get.
closer.
It's easier.
It's easier to
and
get to, yeah.
Is there a certain night that's like your stay night? Like opening
Sundays.
weekend-ish?
Sundays totally are.
I don't like
Sundays.
leaving my house on the weekends, except Friday. Friday I'll go to a concert, but the weekends, after I work, I just want to go home and sleep.
Yeah, a lot of us.
Definitely like
a lot of-
Sundays. I'm just like, no.
It's like a lot more kids have
Going
jobs
outside.
now. So like a lot of us like just get consumed. Like I have 2 jobs. I work at Payless and I work in an eye doctor's office.
Okay.
And I feel like a lot of us I know a lot of more people now who have jobs than I think ever before. So I think a lot of us are like that typical like teenagers just like go cruise the mall on their skateboard. That doesn't really happen. It's like you get out of school and it's just like go to work. I'm going to work after I get out of this. Like I think that's what like the thing is now.
Do you guys feel stressed?
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
think
I think there's more
weekends,
pressure than
so-
ever.
Even though we
Why
only work
than ever?
weekends, so.
Because now, and I've noticed this a lot with like my friends who are going to college and like me applying to colleges. And I saw this funny thing on Tumblr, which was a perfect example. It was like getting into college in like 1995, have good grades. Get into college in 2014, speak 6 languages, be tutored since the time you're 4 years old, play 14 instruments. Like, and it's true. There's so much like competition now, and with like we all know the job market's gonna be terrible. We all know when we graduate, we're not gonna have jobs. Nobody's becoming English or majors or any of the arts majors because we know no one's gonna get a job in that field. So you're kind of like being herded into like the STEM things. A lot of people are like, a lot of people who don't even care about engineering but who are good at it are going into engineering. A lot of people who like don't really care about certain things are just like being forced to like herded into it because it's like really competitive now. Like now it's just not, hard work doesn't make it anymore. It's so much more than that. You can't just work hard and know you'll do well for yourself because a lot of people who work hard and do all the right things end up working at McDonald's when they graduate, you know what I mean? I think that's why.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah, I think, well, we'll just kind of open it up for any I mean, it's a little after 1:30 if anyone has to go, or stay as long as you want. And these guys are always signed out of school.
So you have Celebrity Day at school?
Well, we have Spirit Week,
Okay.
and we have like random things. What was it this year? It was Celebrity
college
Day was one day.
sweatshirt was
College
one
sweatshirt
day, then
one
it was
day.
Celebrity Day.
It was. I
I
didn't,
remember Thursday was Throwback Thursday.
no one did it though, because wasn't there like a snowstorm?
Yeah.
I did it.
You did.
I did it.
Yeah.
Well, last year was more prominent, but we always have Spirit Week, and we have a bunch of days that like each has like something. Like last year was like Gender Switch Day, and all the guys
That
came
was
up
really
as
funny.
girls. And there was Athlete Day where you come in as like their favorite athlete or like a type of athlete. There was 80s Day. Well, actually no, last year was 90s Day.
Yeah.
Does anyone feel like they're above participating in this, or is everyone like pretty much just?
There are some people who are like,
Oh,
I'm a
that's so
jock, I'm a cheerleader, those types that are like, I'm too cool for this stuff.
No, the jocks do it all the time. Like the jocks
I
are the
feel like
most
some of them are like,
fluid girls. They came in
They
short
come
dresses.
in.
that
Their
Gender
hair
Switch Day was a
is-
really big like anomaly,
Yeah.
but like a lot of them, like the Throwback Day, I think like 4 people did it.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
see a lot of people on that one.
Celebrity Day, not a lot of people did it.
I
I,
did.
Some of them
I
just
did
take
it.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like see in Twitter the night before, or Facebook or wherever, like you're kind of like guess figuring out whether people are going to participate or not?
Sometimes
That's
I do that.
definitely
Like I'll be like, because I don't want to be
Twitter
the
and then
only
Instagram.
person doing it. Like you're just like, oh, you feel awkward if you're the only person doing it.
So you
Yeah.
can see whether the momentum's building.
Yeah. And I'll text my friends like, hey, are you doing it? No. Guess I'm not gonna do it either. I have a
Yeah,
big
I knew
plan,
he was
but-
gonna be coming in Uggs, so I was like, you know, whatever I wear, Jose in Uggs is just worse.
Those Uggs are comfortable.
Him in Uggs and shorts was the sight, and it was like that
It was
one
cold
day
that day.
where it was like it
Because I
was
don't wanna
13
do it
degrees
publicly.
outside, and he
I
walked
was
there
really
in
comfortable.
shorts, and he was like, I cannot feel my
No,
veins right
No,
now.
I could feel my legs from my knees. My knees I couldn't feel. But everything else I could feel because the Uggs saved my life.
I have a question. So it sounds like television, right, is like currency. That gives you something to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, is music on that in that space?
I definitely think so.
But music is more like there's more of a variety. So not everyone talks about the same music.
Yeah,
So
but it has to be on.
you have to have like
It's usually your friends. I think.
yeah,
you
you're
talk to
more
music
your
with.
friends, but like with a show you can be like you can talk to a random person and you'd be like, oh, you definitely watch the show, and they're like, yeah, and you can instantly start a friendship. But music it's a lot harder because it's such a
It's more about your personality.
yeah.
Yeah, music, and then there are definitely like the dirty pleasures with TV don't happen so much. But
But
with
with
music,
music-
everybody has a few bands that they like go home at night and listen to and do not tell anybody.
But if you have a show, you're gonna tell people. You're gonna
Yeah,
have
the
those
shows
people.
are more open, but the music is like on your walk home, and you're like, I
You
have a song on
listen
my
to
One
iPod.
Direction.
How do you listen to music? Is it in between stuff or?
I usually listen to like
To do things,
Yeah,
to
it's
motivate.
when I have to do
motivating,
something.
really.
Yeah.
A lot of
When I
us
go to
with
sleep.
cars have the like audio, like I have the
Audio
cassette deck. I wanted a car old enough to have a cassette deck, not new enough to have a CD player. Cause that weird transition before the AV input and then like too new for a cassette was like it sucks because nobody has CDs with a cassette deck. You at least plug your phone in. So when I got my car, I was like, I don't care. It needs to have a cassette or an AV in, one or the other.
Do you listen to music at your houses?
Yeah.
Yeah,
When I have to like do something.
yeah. Like when I clean my room or I gotta do the dishes or something, I always put music on because like I'll get comfortable. I'll just dance around my room, pick up garbage like slow, just having fun with it because it makes time go faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, can you think of an effective marketing message for a show that you thought was, so you mentioned Walking Dead, and that was largely the title, but like, is there, whether or not you watched it on any kind of platform, whether it's on a billboard or other, like, is there any kind of marketing for a show that you were like, wow, that I need to check that out, or even that you just remembered?
American Horror Story did with theirs. I really liked it, and I remember it because it struck me as really odd. They did not promo the actual show. None of their adverts had anything to do with the show. Like, for the second season, it was like a picture of a girl like backwards going downstairs and someone going the same way underneath the stairs suspended. And then for the third season, it was people like floating with their face against the wall, and that song, House of the Rising Sun by the Animals, was covered, playing in the background. Nothing to do with the actual, I mean, it was about witchcraft, so I guess you could say that they were like witches, but they weren't actors. It wasn't pictures of the actual house. It was really creepy adverts that they just wanted you to like see it and be like,
Does someone in your family work in advertising? Because you just said there were promos and adverts. Like, where'd you pick up that language?
I read a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, I mean, I do have family that works in like advertising, but I don't really like talk to them about it.
Okay, so is that just like, those are common things? You'll talk about like promos and adverts and,
Like you see that commercial last night.
I mean, I know, I guess you guys would use the word commercial, but.
Yeah, but.
Yeah.
Like
What about you
something
guys, any others?
No, I kind of agree with her though,
Mad
because
Men's
like,
advertising.
if it doesn't
amazing.
if it doesn't show the
show
actual
the show, yeah, I hate like
Yeah.
when I'm watching a movie trailer and it's gonna show me the funniest parts in the
best parts
movie.
of the movie.
That I don't want to see that, or like
Yeah.
it's the same with the show. I don't want to know what's gonna happen. I want to be. The more I'm kept on edge, the more I'm gonna want to watch
the
it.
more shocked you are, or if you don't know what the like actual like advertisement is about
You're gonna
at
watch it.
first, and like, oh, it's about this show. You're like, what are they doing with that show that they have an advert like this? Like, then you're like, oh my god, like
I wanna watch it,
now I
see
need
what's
to
going
see
to
it,
happen.
you know.
Yeah, I think it also depends on like what the show is, because I mean a lot of the time like American Horror Story, I feel like the
Their
title
ads
gives
are
the title and the
interesting.
title gives a lot more. Like American Horror Story, you kind of get an idea of it, and so like they don't have to be as for like they don't have to show you a lot of.
Yeah,
it.
when they say American Horror Story Coven, you're like, all right, well, it's gonna be about
Witches.
witches, but you don't know exactly what. So
Yeah.
when they do, like, I saw a few of them that I didn't know that they, like, the ones that you can go, oh, that's a Game of Thrones, like, ad. But I would see a few that I was like, is this for a horror movie? And it wouldn't be, and then it would end, and then it would be like, American Horror Story. And you're like, oh my god. You'd think it was gonna be like a movie coming in theaters, and it wasn't. Those were really interesting. Those, I reblogged all those and I saved them because I thought they were really, like, cool and creepy, like, and they're just there. So yeah, that's the best ones that work.
You all talked about being bored when you get home from school in the afternoon. Is TV the only solution to that, or?
No, I
It
mean,
depends
We have some like
on-
video
yeah.
games.
so video games are boring if you don't have enough money.
Yeah, you get bored of video games, but
If you don't have enough money to play them.
Like just to buy another one. Like, I mean,
Buy
like,
the-
you can like.
Once you finish.
yeah,
yeah.
once I finish a video game, I only like playing the plot. I don't like just driving around. I like the plot, and then I'm done.
Yeah.
So TV is the only answer then?
Yeah, it
down
really,
to
it really,
If
it
I have
really
a good
is.
book, I'll stick with a good book, but it's hard for me to find a good book.
TV is like I said, is very social. Is what
Yeah,
happens.
you
you
can
can't be
talk-
social with a book. You can be like, did you read that line on page 43? That was good. You know. I mean, so I think TV is what you can in real time and with pausing and everything. So you can just like forward through commercials. You can pause at one moment and like hit rewind and see it again. I think because it like brings like I said I've sat with everybody and here and been like, did you see that? Did you see this? And like 5 people, my phone will be exploding. Like that's when people talk the most is during, which is ironic
During
that you're talking the most during a show. But that's when my phone is the most active during like a live premiere of something. So yeah, that's why I think it's so popular.
So you guys are obviously pretty close, you know each other pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're representative of your school, for instance? Like, do you feel like most kids are kind of into what you're
Yeah.
into? Or
For the most part.
Some of them, but like more like.
A lot of people like games.
Yeah, a lot of people like
I feel like the
shows,
big ones,
but
like a game, American Horror Story,
everyone
Orange
likes
is the New
American
Black.
Like everyone likes those shows, but like
Even the
certain-
teachers too. The teachers
Yeah.
get
Do
really
you talk
into
to
it.
the teachers?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we have teachers
Yeah, I
that are
have
friends with.
teachers
We have
that-
them on Facebook with their phone
You're
numbers and
friends
text
with your
them.
teachers on Facebook?
Yeah.
And then would
There are some of them that like will text.
That we, I had one teacher
about
that
like homework or about like, can you
No.
believe what just
Friends,
happened?
like-
yeah, no, I had one teacher that like I was watching American Horror Story and it was like 8 o'clock at night and he like texted me and he was like, did you see what happened in last night's episode? And I was like, why are you talking to me? And I was like, yeah, I did. And he was like, that was crazy when her head blew up. And I was like, okay, thanks.
Do you have any of you else had conversations with your teachers like that are like
Well,
more friendly than?
I had this one teacher, like, she, we wouldn't like text or anything, but I would always go to her class after school. Like, I didn't even have her as a teacher, but we liked the same books, the same shows, and we just sit, like, I could sit in her classroom and we'd sit for like an hour after the school day would end and we'd just talk about like books or like just certain shows or movies.
Our teachers are getting younger because a
So-
lot of the old ones are dying. So the younger ones
True,
are.
all of them.
So yeah, no, really, like
What's
the
happening here?
real like whitest conservative teachers that you remember that would like smack your hand with a
Freshman
ruler
year.
have like croaked or retired. So you're getting people who are like 25, 26, 27 and you're 17, and I mean with these shows there's not really much of a cultural gap here. Like they do the same, I mean I know it sounds funny, but like they have to go out and drink in clubs, so do you. Like it's like the same thing. Like there isn't really much of a disconnect now, so I feel like that's why we have like teachers' phone numbers and stuff, and that's why we like talk to them about these shows.
And then you have this math, this is a whole different stuff.
Yeah, we just have teachers who want to either reclaim their youth or they're young enough to be in our peer group.
What does she want to do?
We have like one of the Spanish teachers who's like 40 and she's like she really wants to be like 15 and hot
She has
again.
like a Snapchat and like
Yeah,
follows
so she
people
like
on
she like
Instagram.
Comments on
Instagram
everybody's
people and you're like,
Instagram
why are
pictures,
you
like,
here?
oh my god, so cute.
She'll be like, I know you look cute today.
And she's out of that like that peer group thing that I'm talking about. That one teacher must have been, he was like 28, so he was relatively young. So he still has these common interests. But some of those teachers are like 45 and they're like, I remember when I had my prom in 1976. Okay.
So what was okay about like sitting with the one teacher where you have the common interest versus like maybe some other teachers where they're texting you, or just like, is there a difference in terms of
Who's cool?
Yeah,
Cool.
it's really that. It's like certain teachers like they won't have the same common interests as you, so like you just can't talk to them. The younger they are, the more common interests you have. So that's really it, though. Like it's the age gap, and like if you're 40 or like 50, you're a lot different than the teenagers now. But if you're like 20 or 30, you're like a lot
10,
similar.
15 years isn't that much of an age gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
Like I've noticed, like I get along with people 29, 30, 31. I have friends who are these ages that there's not much of a, because there's not, like we said, there's not that much, like, I mean, there's stuff marketed toward our age group, but there's not a lot that we like buy into in our age group that like people in that age group don't like as well.
Do you
There ends
want
up
there
being-
to be stuff that's just for your age group?
I mean, I don't think it, I
don't
think
it matters.
we are so, and I mean this is like the way that our generation, the millennials, are coming up. We are so being sexualized earlier, being exposed to violence earlier. So these things like I'm sorry to keep using this, awkward and faking it, where they have very little like sexual nuances and they have very little like, you know, deviance moments. We're already past that like cute, sparkling, you know, tween like hood. We're already into like the dirty, nitty gritty world, and the adult shows really reflect our lives more than the like teen or like Degrassi and stuff, where she's like, oh my god, he broke my heart. Like people don't really do that
That
anymore.
was such a guilty pleasure.
Yeah,
But
Everyone
Maria
loves
likes
that.
awkward.
I like awkward.
So
I
that
think it's
that
fun.
stuff doesn't bother you, or do you just sort of
I just
suspend
think it's
disbelief?
like
or-
light and you suspend disbelief. It's TV.
I think a lot of people don't like suspending that disbelief, but like I know
Yeah.
with them, like they don't. Yeah, it's like okay, like you can watch it. It's like, oh, it's like interesting, but you know it's not realistic in any meaning of
Yeah.
the word.
Oh, I have one more question about Degrassi. Are there other, you said that was a show you used to like?
Yeah, I like.
I liked it when I was like 13.
Yeah, when we were like 13,
When we
14,
were
you're
like
like, wow, I want to be in
13,
high
we liked
school.
it. I think if Awkward was on when I was 13 and 12, I probably would have liked it. Same thing with Faking It. I think we would have, because like I said, now those are the people watching the
Would you
show.
watch
Were there-
Degrassi now though? Like
No, because
No.
like you watched when you were younger, you watched the shows that were kids in high school because you were like, wow, I want to be like that in high school.
You're like, that's what high school's like, right?
Yeah, you
Well, I
always
just
go to
meant,
parties
like,
and
would
someone
you
always
watch it
be
now
standing
in
at
sort
the
of like a kitschy kind of like nostalgic
I
like
haven't seen it. Do you mean
I mean,